All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here at today's Micro Money session. If you're new here, Micro Monies is a community-driven platform that supports everyday people, side hustlers, small business owners, and what I like to say micro businesses inside of Micro Monies with financial education and practical business resources, right? All the things I wish I had more of when I started. And that's why I love to help other entrepreneurs have those resources available to them as much as possible. We believe that your personal finances are the foundation for your business success, right? So we focus on helping you build smart money habits and explore creative income strategies that you can start with and on a small scale and then compound over time. So, and then also grow with confidence, right? With a small support network. So today, we are diving in with Jarrell Henderson, a business systems expert who developed powerful AI tools and automation for real entrepreneurs. Just to share more about Jarrell, actually, he actually made AI agents that handle customer service via phone and text, which I think is cool. I think I'm going to have to ask about that more because I think I need support and, maybe
Feeling y'all, feeling it
dive
for
into.
herself.
Yeah, maybe we could dive into that for AI agents. He also uses those AI agents to book clients automatically, so that's pretty cool. Streamline, back end operations, and then even assist with trading using custom coded signals. So I'm not sure what that means, but we'll go dive into that with Jarrell. So, hi Jarrell, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate y'all coming and wanting to actually learn about AI. I think that we're gonna kind of debug the and get you all away from the scare. Like everybody is so fearful of AI, and it's just like it's nothing to be scared of.
Yeah, and I just saw something last evening. More people are being scared of AI lately because they're like, oh, they have personalities now. That's
Right, right. And then when you start thinking about like the fact that you can clone yourself, that I think really it really makes you uncomfortable because then you're thinking, well, if I can clone myself and we can do this video, but it I want to kind of just you can really you can tell that it's AI when it's an AI clone because the movements are too perfect.
right.
So yeah.
Right. Yeah, and see that's more than I know. Sometimes I feel like I can look at a photo and say, "Oh yeah, that's AI." And then sometimes I'm like, "Wow, that is really well done."
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah,
So let's get started. So, Jarell, tell the audience a little bit more about your background before we jump into the rest of the questions. Anything you want the audience to know about your background and how did you get started with this?
So a little bit about me is from Chicago, Illinois, and I started as just like kind of how everybody else started. I got into entrepreneurship. My one of the last places I worked, I was a store manager, and I didn't really care for the position. But what really kind of pushed me into entrepreneurship, there was I needed some time off. And I know that sounds like the cliche story, but I legit needed time off for a personal reason. And it was kind of like, well, you've been taking too much time for this personal reason, and we don't know if we can give you that additional time off. And so I kind of pushed myself into it, and I was already doing kind of part-time entrepreneur things like building websites, um, doing like you remember the illustrations that used to be really popular with people, so they'll like do an
Yeah.
illustration. I was doing those, and I was doing logos, so a bunch of one-off things. And then one of the very first things that I actually stepped into was t-shirts.
Mm.
So I walk away from the job and I have all these one-off things going, but then my big thing is I start an events-based business. Now I have a background in real estate. I went to Chicago real estate school. Um, got like went actually worked for a real estate brokerage called Trudeau Realty. And that if we jump and fast forward to there, I have all these people asking me, like, how did you start the event space? Because I'm a naturally an introvert. So I'm letting them know, like, I'm just gonna tell you my journey on YouTube, and I didn't know what to come from it, what would even come from it, because that was just me trying to get out of my shell. So I start the YouTube channel, and people are asking the questions, and then I end up teaching how do you get an event space? And so I did that basically, and mind you, this is during the pandemic. I walked away from my job during the pandemic, like right when the pandemic started. So I have a real estate investment property, no job, and at the time I was married, right? And so now you have all those things like in place, and it's like, well, what do? You don't have a job. You got a real estate investment property. You have these one-off things that are making you some money. You got a little bit of money, but what do you do? And so I'm like, well, why not open an event space and spend more money? And so I did that. And then that just led to this network of coaching and working with other entrepreneurs. And that's actually how me and Sam met. Um, and then we met officially at InvestFest face to face. And so, and then now I've coached hundreds of people, whether it's been on how to start your event-based business, how you grow your business, or just how to start an online business in general, and led me to becoming this business consultant and AI strategist. And I hate the term of expert because things are consistently changing, but I definitely know more than the average individual about my said group on how to implement AI tools into my business and use them because AI is so ever evolving that you can't ever know everything.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. I love that answer. So I've been following Jarrell from when he started that YouTube channel, right? And I don't know if Jarrell knows this, but Jarrell, so I saw like his YouTube channel, and that's actually how he came on my radar. And I was watching his videos, right? And then he had started, an event planning, education program. And I went to a couple of his sessions and met Jarrell on there. He was so genuine. I actually really appreciate his personality and how he's, spoke about things. And he was just so genuine and forthcoming with information. I loved it. I was like, how do I work with this guy? And then it's so funny how things work, right? Is I went to InvestFest my first year, had a wonderful time, by the way. And we happened to stay at the same place. We were both coming back from InvestFest, and I came out of the elevator from my hotel room, and when I stepped out of it, there was Jarrell. And I was just like, "Oh,
oh,
hey."
you talking about like the perfect time and everything. Like it's
It's so
something like out of
perfect.
a movie. It's crazy. It was crazy.
It was crazy. I was like, wait, and there was a moment where I was kind of like, brain was processing, like, wait, I know Jarrell? He's like, yeah. So I love that. So it's just, I think I'm someone who believes that things are meant to happen, and here we are. So, so yeah, thanks so much for just sharing that. So you said something else interesting. You started in the event space and then, you moved with in real estate as well. So that brings another perspective, that you have a well-rounded perspective in business and real estate. You can also have, understanding, points for other people in the audience. There's plenty of people in the audience where they follow real estate, they do real estate investing, you know where they're coming from. And starting an successful event space business. And now you want to help other entrepreneurs get more efficient and, work smarter with AI. So I want to make sure everybody understands that point with Jarrell being here.
I really, I really, and I like Sam just said, like really driving it home, guys. Like understand that AI is the tool that's going to that can make the solopreneur feel like you're running a business with a team of 50 because of the things that it can do. And when I realized that I was overworked and burnt out, like truly, I was burnt out, like ready to just walk away from business. And then we hear like 2 years ago now, AI has been out for a long time, but we hear 2 years ago, like Chat GPT and all this stuff. And I'm like, this is what I needed.
I'm so glad you brought that up again because, yeah, I think a lot of micro businesses, a lot of small business owners, a lot of, aspiring entrepreneurs and everyday people that are working a 9 to 5 job, we all understand the grind, right? And I think we've all been there where it's like, hey, this is constant working, you're tired. I think I just told Jarrell a moment ago, like, I haven't really taken many vacations, right? So I think we all understand that and can relate to that in the entrepreneur space. So I really appreciate you bringing that up. Jarrell, what do you think as far as like getting deeper in here? How can AI help the small business owner streamline their marketing efforts?
So there are now AI tools. So if I'm starting and like I'm terrible at marketing and first even that just wanted to know like what is marketing. So marketing goes a lot deeper than just posting on social media and I've spent like so many YouTube videos like really driving that in. Like, listen, marketing is just not posting on social media, but you have different levels. So you have word of mouth, you have posting on social media, you have running ads, you have um, SEO, you have like local marketing things that you're actually doing. And so how AI kind of pulls and brings all of those things together, what it'll do for you is if most of the time when you're creating any sort of marketing content, you have to either pay a creator to create the design for you, or you have to know how to, like, for instance, run a Instagram or a Facebook ad, or you have to just know basic marketing principles. Because one of the things that people struggle with a lot, I notice, is, well, it's 2025, and I'm not shaming you if you've asked this question, but this just shows how much that we think that we know what we don't know is how many times should I post on social media? And because these things are ever changing, you can now use AI to give you a concise response to that question. And it kind of just accelerates your knowledge, And so, like, if I'm a beginner and I'm starting out, how would I use AI? I would have it create me I would first tell it to, and a tip for you, just use AI like you're using a best friend. Imagine having a best friend that like knows pretty much everything, like everything about everything, or at least can kind of be a jack of all trades kind of type of thing. Just general conversation. Open up Chat GPT and say, hey, I'm new to marketing, educate me on some of these things. And then literally that's the prompt. And just say, and once you get the answer from that, okay, and just make it conversational. And then you could ask it even, well, what marketing tools or platforms can I use to market my business easily beyond social media? Because that's the key. We want to get outreach beyond social media. And now you're really forcing the AI to think outside the box, because the limitation of AI is going to be the limitation that you put on it. So the better the questions that you ask, the better the answers that you're going to get from any AI tool that you use. So one of the things that I think that helps best with AI for marketing is using AI to actually like do things like what I use it for. I use it to run my ads. Like I can run Instagram and Facebook ads in 3 steps with AI platforms versus going to Facebook Ads Manager, logging into it, having to, because Facebook Ads Manager, they update their system. And they don't, I don't know, like, and I'm not saying that they don't, but like what I noticed is they update their system every few months. So it's like that consistent learning curve. But now I have this AI tool that creates the ad creator for me, that creates the copy for me, and that post for me. And then it tells me the metrics. Is my click-through rate where it needs to be at? What is my cost per acquisition? How long are people, is this a good call to action? So it gives me all of my metrics and gives me everything in one place. And then now I don't have to be an expert, or I don't have to worry about what I don't know.
Yeah, that's really good feedback too. And for everybody who might not be familiar, right? Because sometimes, when we start as entrepreneurs, even marketing is new for us, right? And we're doing everything ourselves, which is also why AI would be, significantly helpful, right? But for there's some terms that you kind of put out there of like click-through rates, right? And some of the other tools and key analysis points that you guys kind of look at. What can you explain that just briefly on a high level for the audience of like what did those mean and why do we care?
Okay. Yeah, for sure. So like your click-through rate is just how often it's just a simple metric as, like, for instance, when you're going to get it in percentages and you want your click-through rate, how it's basically telling how much somebody is engaging with what you have. And so you got impressions, you got a bunch of different metrics on like the Facebook ads platform. You got impressions, you got things like that. Now with impressions, for instance, you would think that that's how often, like how many views that you're actually getting, and you think that it's an actual individual person each time, and instead it's actually just how many hits you've gotten, and you could have got 1,000 hits from the same person. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a different person. And with like your click-through rate, you want that number to be above like 1%. That's like typically a good click-through rate. You want it to be like 2% or better, to be honest. And so cost per acquisition, that means how much does it cost you to acquire a customer? So when you run an ad, for instance, on Facebook or Instagram, and let's say we use the AI tool, and one of these AI tools, and I don't get any kickback or anything from these platforms at all, but one of the AI tools that I have actually personally used, and still do use, is Play, Plai, right? And so you'll set a budget. Let's say your budget on Instagram and Facebook, the budget, and it's the same advertising platform. The budget, the lowest you can do is $5 a day. So you set $5 a day, and that's how much it'll roughly spend, somewhere around there, in order to, you're spending $5 to put your content out to people. And so now the ad will give you, it'll, after it runs a couple of days, how Play works is it'll give you feedback, and it'll say, well, based on your click-through rate, you need to change your creative, because these are all, like, all of these things tie into each other. And so your ad creative is basically just a picture that people see when that comes down their feed. That's all it is. It's a picture or a video. So ad creative is a fancier way of saying the picture or the video that you're actually advertising. So that thing that you're advertising, and then your copy is just the words that you use on the ad. So what you're actually saying, the message, that's all it is. And then your call to action is just the trigger to let people know what you want them to do. So an example of a call to action would be buy this now, or get this magic skincare product, or get this magic lock retwist gel, right? And so those are the things. And why I like AI tools so much is because they break it down for the person that doesn't even know. So now, instead of learning, this took me years to learn, like 10 years to learn this stuff. You can learn it in a matter of minutes with these AI tools.
It also sounds like you're having, an artificial intelligence like marketing manager, really, because they're prompting you on how to get better at your marketing strategy if it's not working. That sounds like that helps a lot. I wonder if you would be open to sharing kind of like a case study or an example of, AI successfully driving a business profile.
Yeah, so I can actually do it in real time, something that I use. So, and hopefully the audience will be able to hear it. Um, so I'm going to, like, it's my phone. I'm going to unlock my phone, and then I'm going to call my business number, and then I have a voice AI agent that was created specifically for this. And but this is the same thing that I use though for my business in general. So this voice AI agent is going to be able to, it's meant to ask questions about your business to help verify whether or not that we could actually help you. So I'm placing a call right now to my business number, and then we get to see it and test it in real time to see how good it is. So it's ringing. I'm gonna put it on speaker. Assistant at Leadaifi. I'm here to learn about your business and see how we can help simplify your business processes. So, hey Trinity, can you can you help me with my business? Basically, I'm a marketing consultant, and I want to get my business out there more. Is this something that you all at Leadify can help me with? A member of our team will reach out soon to answer that for you. In the meantime, I'll ensure we have all your contact details. Could you please share your full name with me? So my name is Sam Carter. Thanks, Sam. Got it, Sam Carter. What's the best phone number to reach you at? You can reach me at 773-226-2001. Perfect, thanks.
And could I get your email address so our team can send any follow-up details?
Yeah, sure. You can get it's at samcarter@gmail.com.
Thank you. Just to confirm, your email is samcarter@gmail.com. Is that correct?
That is correct. Do you have any appointment availability for a call next week maybe with your team?
Thank you. Just to confirm, your email is samcarder@gmail.com. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Noted. A team member will reach out soon to help schedule that call with you. Thanks for your patience, Sam. Is there anything else you'd like to mention?
No, that's it. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for calling, Sam. We appreciate your time and someone will reach out to you promptly. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.
And so I want to take you in because that's I want to take you in real time so you can see. And then that has everything to do with how I prompted this for this test. So let's see. Is this the right one? Okay. So all right. No, this is not it. This is it right here. All right. So this is the back end of um, of a white label version of a software that I use. So I use to run my business. I use a I don't want to call it a complicated thing, a complicated piece of tech, but I use High Level and I white label their software, and I build. And so the reason that I white label it versus just using it and just to use it is because when you just buy it, it's a blank canvas. And so you still have to build everything out, every automation, every AI conversation bot, everything. You have to build it all out yourself. And so what I do is that I white label it and I sell it as Leadify. And then people that come in under me, they're able to then I give them basically a business in a box type of solution that already has some of their necessary automations and tools. Because the biggest struggle that I found with being a business owner when I was first starting was was interested I was interested in a lot of these different things. So like I was already interested in like building things, websites and things like that. But like it's like the stuff that I hated all the time used to be the back end stuff, which is like your automations and things. And so that's basically what most of these platforms and systems do. They give you this blank canvas that you still have to build everything. So I was like, well, I don't want to do that. I want to be able to give people something that when they get it, they have like some starter things. So now you got some starter templates, you got some starter prompts, you got some starter tools so that it bridges that gap in between when you actually say, I'm starting my business to when you actually start your business. So just coming in here, if we get started, what we were basically doing just then is I had for the purpose of this I had built like a little test agent bot, right? And so you come in and then you give it you go through, and we're going to build it like and build a fresh one or kind of revamp one in real time. And so everything here, you give it the agent its name, you give it your business name, the language that you wanted to speak. You can have it in different languages. Um, you have it, you play it the voice
The
that you
90s were fun because it was a time full of new trends, creativity, and pop culture.
the voice that you wanted to use, and then this
Real,
is the key
real
here.
quick, Jarrell, is it just supposed to show like the search bar or like the screen?
Oh, I didn't know that you. I'm sorry.
There you go. Yep.
Okay, you see everything.
Yes. Sorry about that.
So okay, so this is the back end of a build for building your AI assistant, right? So this can build voice, this can build text, SMS. You can even have a conversational bot, like a chat bot on your website, Facebook ad, like pretty much a lot of different things, right? And so Agent Goals is where you would put your prompt. So your prompt And I think we freak out over the concept of what a prompt is. A prompt is you just telling, it's just the instructions for the AI. So the instructions here are you are Trinity, a dedicated customer service specialist at Leadaifi on behalf of Jarrell Henderson. And then your goal is to gather the contacts information. So that's why in that test call that we did, she was just solely focused on contact information. So the more elaborate your prompt, the more that the AI can do. So that's why I said earlier, the limitations are on us. Just like in anything else, when we're building a business, mindset wise, we put limitations on ourselves, and it's the same thing with AI. We put limitations on ourselves in terms of what we wanted to be able to do. So if I'd have told Trinity that I want you to coach them on these things based off what their business is, she would have been able to do that. And where you would get your prompt from, changing gears really quickly here, you just go to ChatGPT. Now here we see a I've created a custom GPT. Now, in order to do this, you need the $20 a month ChatGPT version. And all you do is, well, I've created a prompt genie. So this spits out the best prompts based off of what industry that I'm in. So if I just click that there, I need a beginner prompt, and it's going to ask me what niche that I'm in. So um, what would you classify your niche as in?
My niche, it depends on the day, but we'll we'll go with real estate lending.
Okay, real estate lending. I said real lending, real estate lending. And then so we spit out a good prompt, and so the goal of this prompt genie is to create prompts that will help people generate quality lead magnets or products or services for their business. And so now you would just take this prompt and you put it into maybe another chat and you give it some more details, and then now you actually have that product or that service. So going back over here, prompting is just instructions. So for you guys that have been thinking that it's just the most oh my God thing in the world, it is all it is just instructions for the AI. And the better questions that you ask, the better you answer you're going to get with AI. So if you don't know how to prompt, you can ask it, well, I'm not really sure how to prompt. Can you help me XYZ? What are some questions that you may ask me to make me a better prompter? That's a prompt in itself. So this is pretty much the start of that. This was the start of that AI bot and the AI chat bot that we kind of went down because I feel like I'm going down a rabbit hole. This is the start of it. So all I did was I came over here and then I built it out and I prompted it the same way that I would. So if we go to create new bot, what is the purpose of the bot? And this is very simple on the inside of Leadify. As you see, it pops up. This is like real time. So if we do appointment booking, and then I need to move this, and then we just click continue, and then you just go in and you just fill out the information, and that's what makes this so easy for you because now I think in business we overcomplicate things because we don't know the steps, but all the steps here. So you just fill everything in, your brand name, your website name. And so the purpose of the website is the bot is actually going to pull the information from your website. So now the bot understands completely what your website is, what you sell, your FAQs, everything. So every time a person asks a question about your business, it's answering directly off your website.
I was gonna say, wow, that is really cool. And if you do have any questions, please put them, down in the chat. And we're happy to answer any that come up. But thanks for walking us through this. This seems way more comprehensive than even I thought. This is,
Yeah.
and so you basically built this out with that company that you white labeled.
So they give you the base,
Okay.
right? They give you the base and it has all this stuff on the side, right? But
Right.
then you just need to know how to use the stuff that they give you. And a
Right.
lot of people, it's super intimidating, like because you see all this stuff, you see marketing, you see automation, like, and so like when you think of like ClickFunnels and you think of like Wix and you think of all these different like platforms, when we get them, And so like even if we go with the event space owners and event planners, a lot of them are using what is it called? Honeybook. These
Hmm.
CRMs are super confusing. So the reason why I said, well, hold on, let me white label this and turn this into Leadify, and then let me give you like all the steps. So
Hmm.
therefore, you're never confused and your hand is held the entire time because you come in and it's overwhelming. I was looking in a Facebook group the other day and somebody was like, Honeybook, the CRM is too overwhelming. How do I run my business without a CRM? And that's probably, I understand why she felt like that, but that's probably one of the worst things that you can do because CRMs are meant to help us like make the process of running the business smooth. Like all this back end stuff, like you want a CRM to do that. You don't want to be manually emailing every lead that comes in or calling back or responding. Like you don't want to do that. And so that's the purpose of a system. That's the purpose of automations. That's the purpose of AI. So that this is kind of like where the origin of the chatbot that I built out for one of my clients started, and this is kind of just the breakthrough and the walkthrough of how we built them out for anybody else. And this is just one version of building out chatbots or workflows. There are other ways and there are other systems. So like that I will use depending upon the complexity of what a person wants. So if you're already using like my system or you're using your own version of the original system, then I would go here. But if you just want something that has nothing to do with this platform, then I would go another route to build out your bot. And with that particular route, I would start with ChatGPT in terms of the prompting and things like that.
So that actually answers quite a few questions too, and thank you so much for walking the group through that. And we all, as you guys heard, we did go through some recommendations there for, some of the best AI tools that are, we recommend. And not that there's any payouts from that. We're not affiliated to any of these. So
No, not at all. Not at all. I think the whole affiliate commission thing, I'm not gonna say it's confusing for me, but there's so many rules when you become an affiliate because I was actually gonna become an affiliate with the platform that I use. But then they were like, well, there's certain things that you just can't say, and it's just like I'm like, okay, well, listen,
there's too many strings attached.
yeah, I need to
Too
be
much
free to
red
do
tape.
my own thing.
Would you like to share maybe how do you see maybe AI transforming like email marketing strategies? Dive into that a little bit more for people who aren't familiar.
So from what I realize or from what I know, that the the actual chatbot on this platform cannot respond to
Okay.
respond to emails. Now, there is another platform that I've built out that can respond to your emails that you get in, and then it can actually segment, based off of what's the context that's in the email, should you respond to it or should the AI respond to it. But I think that how AI has really changed email marketing is that so when I first started, when I was running like when I was running like the event space business and I started my coaching program back in like 2021, I wrote every single email myself. I have every single email that I've ever written myself. Every single one. Okay. Can you imagine? And so me, I come from the era of email marketing where you email every day. So that means I wrote hundreds of emails over the years, single-handedly, or with these two hands. You muted again, Sam. I don't know. Yeah, you muted again. But
Oh,
so
yeah, I try to, sorry, go ahead.
isn't that crazy though? Like, can you imagine literally typing out? And that's where a lot of my burnout came from.
I think a lot of us have been there on that side trying to, do as much as possible and we're kind of like not outsourcing enough and then finally you scale to get like a personal assistant to help you out. And maybe that's a virtual personal assistant or
Right.
maybe it's a full-time one. But yeah, or in this case, it's an AI, agent.
It's an AI agent, and so now what I do is, and I'll just share my screen really quickly again.
Mhm.
And this time we're going to get it right the first time. All right, we got it right the first time. So these on this left side of my screen um, are all of my custom GPTs. And so what I've done is I've created because email is copy, right? That's all it is. So once you realize who your target audience is, I created a custom GPT to target that. So my target audience is pretty much who've purchased my products or my services are millennials and Gen X. So I created a copywriter that speaks to the pain points and that's empathetic to millennials and Gen X. And so what I do is because even with AI, you can still tell when emails are 100% written by AI. So what I'll do is I'll create, and we'll just do it in real time, create an email that sells a AI and automation chat bot for $27. And so now this email would have taken me first the phases that I got to go through to create it myself back in 2021. I got to go through the critical thinking phase. Well, what do I want to say? What's the perfect message? Then I have to actually write it. Then I have to see if it works right. Then I got to test it. But instead now I can just take this, prompt this, take this now, and then piggyback off of it and create my own email. So it kind of gives me a kind of like what would you call it? Like how Six Flags used to have like the fast passes.
Oh,
It kind of gives me that fast pass to getting my email marketing done. So now I'm not spending like because I would used to spend probably about an hour before my an hour or two like going over my emails. Then I had to send them to an editor. Then they had to send them back. And it was just a process. Whereas AI, it does it, it's done in seconds. We got that email, right? And then now I can just take it, revamp it, and then put it back in AI and say, okay, clean this up for me. These are the parts I like, these are the parts I don't like. And then ready. Now it's actually ready to send again. So I just think that it adds that layer of speed for you and it allows you to stop procrastinating. That's probably one of the biggest things because when you just think about writing emails like, oh my God, I get an email market 3 times, 4 times a week. And then it could even help people get over their fears of why they should be email marketing. So that's where I think the AI has probably changed the most for me and for anybody that's looking to ramp up their email marketing or start email marketing is going to allow you to do it way faster.
so everybody, you heard it. You should get your Flash Pass. Six Flags has always been my favorite place. Getting a Flash Pass, that is so smart and such a great comparison using AI and ChatGPT to make email marketing so much faster.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's crazy. If you ever have like for the people that are writers, all you do is take. So I took all of my years of emails and I uploaded them into a doc when I created the GPT, and then I said, "This is my writing style. I always
Mhm.
use this type of messaging." And so it just makes things so much easier.
Yes, and it's so funny you mentioned that because I always say after you use AI for a while and they get used to you and you have, the paid subscription version of each one, they start sounding like you. And so, it then sounds more natural, and you can even prompt it to sound natural. So,
Mm.
yeah, so I love that. And I always try to tell mine to not sound salesy just because
Yeah,
that's my
yeah.
speaking style. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So and that's the thing, like, and that's it. And that's why I say like just have a conversation with the AI tool. Just have
Yeah.
a conversation, like literally ask it, like, interview me so we can create whatever you're looking to create so that it can come out the best way it should. And
Mm.
it will ask you all these questions that you probably never would have thought of, or it would have took you all this time. And I think that that's where I probably benefited the most out of it because it's cut down a lot of time. Like I would like to think that I'm a smart individual. You're a smart woman. But it's just like sometimes we're just like, listen, can we get there?
Mhm.
And
Right.
so that's what AI has like for like my email marketing for my business in a lot of different ways. It's giving me that can we get there moment? Like are we there yet? Like it's like, yeah, we're there. We're here.
Yes. Are we done yet? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a great kind of conversation to kind of pivot to the question, do you think that AI powered content creation can replace human creativity? Because I know that, and this is a common topic lately, especially as, each generation kind of takes a knack at each other, right? Like millennials and Gen Z, their brains are going to mush because they're using AI more. So,
Yeah.
do you think that AI powered tools and content creation takes away from human creativity and should it be used differently? Like what are some kind of things you would add on to that discussion?
I don't think that it takes away because we're the people that are prompting. So you prompting is creativity right there. Prompting is critical thinking right there. So I think that people that believe that it will forget that we're the ones behind the AI. Now, and even when you like, so there's this I forget his name, but and 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 I just gotta say this, you all, like I learned a lot of this stuff from YouTube University. And so what I've learned in my years as an entrepreneur is like either you have time or you have money or if you lack one, you got to have the other. So if you don't have the money, you need to have the time to spend it. And if you don't have the time, you need to have the money to kind of get you. And so like I spent some time and some money on tools to learn different things. And so like there's this guy who he creates ASMR content for Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And he uses this AI sequence to do it. And now in this AI sequence, he has an AI agent, right? So at the leader of the sequence, talking to other AI agents that actually create the content. So he has one AI agent that speaks to other AI agents to then create the content. Now, why I think that that's cool and where a person may think, well, now he's still at the front of the initial AI agent. So I don't think that it could ever like replace our creativity because we're the ones that created it. Now, what it will do, and this is something that I don't want to use the word fear at all, but it I'll say it might be a little concerning
Mhm.
to the consumer, to the average consumer, is that you won't be able to realize what is and what's not very soon. Like if you're not paying attention with platforms like HeyGen and 11 Labs, the 11 Labs you can clone your voice. HeyGen you clone yourself. And that's HeyGen is one of the best ones to use it. I've used captions.ai to clone myself as well, and I think that's like the second best, right?
Mhm.
Um, and so what's kind of scary, and I hate to use that word, but is like for the average consumer, you won't be able to know like, oh, is this an AI image? Because like if we created something in real time right now, I don't know if we have the time to do it, but I could show you all like we can literally create something in real time right now, and that thing would you be like, oh, that's how they're doing that, or this is where they're doing that from, and this is how they're doing it so quickly. Because there are platforms that create like the you seeing what I'm seeing now is a lot of people with like the mukbangs and they're doing that. There's a platform that you can create those videos and it looks like a real person. And so I just think that it's going to be very confusing for the consumer. And so what that's going to do is going to hurt a lot of buyers. And so for the content creators that are out now, there's going to be more room for you because people we're eventually going to be starving for reality.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so that's what I would say to that.
Yeah, that's a good answer, and yeah, it's so what I'm hearing is we are the prompters. We're the geniuses behind the robots. Okay, you guys, we're the geniuses. And I've seen some cool things. I mean, I think there's like Facebook groups called AI baddies where people are cloning themselves and, doing some interesting things. And
And I'm not and don't have listen, I'm not shunning any Facebook group. I just say that I just think that people, no matter where you come from, no matter what your background is, that some things aren't meant to be gate kept. Like stop the gatekeeping. Some things is just like because and and with so many entrepreneurs in the group, like I hope no one takes offense to this. Sam, feel free to cut this out if you need to. But I mean, I think that a lot of times as business owners, we fear people are going to steal our ideas when we just don't
Mhm.
realize that people are lazy.
Yeah.
So you can give them the whole thing. I can give you a AI tool that'll place the calls for you. I can give you one that will book the appointments for you. And all you have to do now is then, because like I'm not naming any names, but I'm real life situation. Like I've coached people I've taken them from 0 to 6 figures in their business. And I've coached people that have already had a business. I've coached a lot of different types of people. I've coached people that made $250,000. I've coached people that made millions of dollars a year in different areas. And so
Right.
what I found is that if you just are a lazy person, you just a lazy person. Like I had somebody legitimately, I was coaching someone and they just didn't want to do the additional steps. Like everything was set up and I had built like an AI system for them. So everything was set up with the AI system, like everything. So it nurtured the lead from the ad. It then sent them an email that, hey, you got this, and it went through all the steps. And so then when it came time for them, all they had to do now was close, and they just, well, that was too hard for them. And so there's always going to be a barrier, so you never have to worry about the amount of information that you give out to people because there's always that barrier that or hurdle that people are still going to have to jump over, and that for a lot of people that hurdle is going to look like the biggest mountain. It's going to look like Mount Everest that they just can't ever climb it.
That's so true. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even cut that out. People need to hear that. And honestly, I completely understand what you said. I relate to it because, I teach vending, right? I teach people how to get started in vending after having a successful business in vending space. And I've had some people be really successful. But then sometimes when I see people not being successful in the vending space, for instance, right? And this is applicable to other forms of business because I've helped other people in and so what I see is I've given people locations, I've like negotiated for them, I found the location for them, I've sold them the vending machine, and now all they have to do is place it. And now all they have to do is close the deal. Now all they have to do is sign the docs. And they just don't do it, right? And so there's that whole saying of like knowledge is power, but only when it's applied. Applied knowledge is power, really. And it's so true. It's so true.
Uh,
Like if I can
and
give you
I
all the tools, and if you
I
don't do
can
it,
look.
I think that this is all stuff that I think people all need to hear. And it's really just repetition because I know that many of you have heard this before, but repetition, and then sometimes we get it right.
Oh
Um,
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
for sure. And just and like listen, guys. Like I've been through the steps. Like I went through like the hard parts of business. Like the hardest parts of business. Like I had the brick and mortar already. I've done the online thing. Like I've sent the person a 10K invoice. Before. Like I've done those things, and so it's like. And I work with some pretty big names and where I had to sign NDAs, so it's just like these are the things like you would think that the like full trans being if I can be completely transparent with you guys, you would think that the person that makes um like let's say they're a 7 or 8 figure entrepreneur, because I'm a 6 figure entrepreneur, you would think that that person doesn't have, maybe 5 figure entrepreneur, 6 figure entrepreneur problems, but they actually do. Like in their 7 or 8 figure company, like the problems are they like you can't ignore the gaps that you have in your business, and we try to ignore them or we try to skate past them, and I think that we don't realize that just hire somebody or just use a tool or just do something different and just focus on the things that you're good at, but you can't run away from the work at no place in business. Like at any level, there is no way for you to run away from the work. And so that's just something random. I just had to say it because it's just like the problems that I saw, like I went behind the scenes of a because I was I worked as a coach in for this academy. And and this was like an eight-figure academy. And they had a lot of issues that you would think that a beginner entrepreneur had. They had a lot of the same issues. So like I just never be afraid to just like push forward, but always know like you got to address the stuff at some point in time.
Yeah. Yeah, it just goes into, again, you guys could do anything you want. You just have to know that you could do anything you want and then just jump at it.
Yeah, just jump at it and just like I don't know, like eliminate the fear. Just do it. Like it sounds so simple and you've heard it before, but it's like just do it. Just
Yeah.
start.
Yes. So, what are some industries, right? If we're getting like niche specific, what are some industries you see the biggest transformations when we're talking about marketing using AI tools?
Anyone that's it's super easy. Anyone that sells anything online,
Okay.
anyone that sells anything online, or has to deal with, or has to deal, or has a like where they have a live person for customer support, or a live person that's on the back end of a maybe a text message. That's where AI is just dominating at. And so now, don't get me wrong, like, cause now if you have like a vending machine, right, and you're like, well, how could I even use AI for my vending machine business? Well, Sam, take me through like for the vending machine business because it's so personalized in terms of the people that you're contacting and you're communicating with. And so maybe are you sending emails or are you sending calls? Or are you placing calls?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So it's a combination, right? You can choose whichever marketing strategy and reach out strategy you want. And
Mhm.
it sounds like AI would support this. But basically, what I do and what I've done is I'll make a list of like local businesses that I'd like to do business with and I see as a really viable option for vending locations due to foot traffic and clean,
Mhm.
security, all that and I'll call them or I'll walk in person. And that one is maybe because of the location and I want to make an impact. I want to meet them in person, or maybe it's because I haven't been able to reach them by phone. Maybe there's a gatekeeper at the office and so on. Or I'll email them, right? All of those have been super successful. You could also mail, but I prefer the latter, the previous options.
Yeah.
But yeah, all of those options.
So I would use probably an AI dialer and have it to efficiently because calling is one of those things that, and I'll even use me as an example. Like if I integrated outbound calls into my business, well, I've done them. So I'll say this: 2 years ago, if I integrated outbound calls into my business, I would have accelerated the growth. I was that person that was like, oh, it's icky. I don't know about that. Calling people and just like cold calling to do it to provide a service. But now with AI outbound calling tool, if you're the person that has the vending machine and you're trying to get a location, but you're like, I'm not the greatest on the phone. I don't like my voice. And we have all these things in our head that are just like not real.
Yeah. Lots of doubt.
Yeah, you have the AI tool call for you. You have it placed the call for you. So now you just run through the list and you say, hey, you prompt it because any AI tool or service, you're gonna have to provide it with a prompt. So you prompt it, and here's your prompt. Hey, I work you give the AI tool a name and then you just have it say that I work on behalf of so and so. So whatever your LLC name is or whatever your business name is, however you want to, whatever it's framed, if the LLC is the same name as your business, whatever. And then you say, I'm interested in, whatever the script that Sam has provided you with. Um, you insert that script, and then now that's it. And so now it's placed that call, and then it interacts and engages with that person. And then the last thing that I would say that you would probably do is you would have it place an appointment on when you would meet them in person. And that's it. And that's how I would integrate it into the business. So
Okay.
therefore, now if I'm afraid to be on the phone, one, or if I am, don't have the time, allegedly, to place phone calls,
The
or if
excuse we tell ourselves.
right. It's we tell ourselves, or legitimately, if I have a 9 to 5 business, I'm in my 9 to 5. I have a 9 to 5, and I don't have the time. Well, then you have the AI assistant placing calls at designated times, or you have it doing it because you can even send like signal your AI with a text message to do a job. So that's how I would do it if I was afraid to call, or even if I wasn't afraid to call, I just didn't want to call. And that's how I would integrate it in.
So see, we talk about like faceless marketing and faceless business pages, and what I'm hearing is, especially if you're someone who's on the edge of like, blowing up and or maybe you're doing well at business and you can 10x it with more marketing, but you're just nervous to get in front of the camera, right? And you're nervous to record yourself. Well,
Yeah.
now, you can use AI tools to supplement that and bridge that gap. So
Mhm.
that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, that is and you actually touched on something that I'm actually doing in real time. I'll let you know when I actually launch it, and I'll let you know what the pages will be. But I'm actually creating these faceless I've created these faceless. I'm creating a faceless like marketing kind of page, and it's ironic how it is, but basically my faceless marketing page is something that I haven't seen it out there, but essentially it'll be educating people on AI, but it will be AI. Everything will be AI driven, but I will be the man behind the AI. And so I've created like this whole character. Like he has outfits, he has a story, everything, and he's just educating you on AI. And how you can use it and implement it into your business. And it's a faceless page because that's actually become I was like kind of like playing it down almost like, oh man, like content, like I don't know, like years ago, I'm like, oh, you can really make money from it. But then it's just like you're seeing it. And I'm like, man, that's something I can definitely capitalize on because I'm an introvert, but I'm not the introvert that's afraid of the camera. But I also know that I only have so much time I can be in front of the camera when I can create this masterpiece of an automation, because we haven't even talked about automations, but I can create this automation that I create this AI tool, create this automation that then always creates content, kind of like the example that I gave earlier of the guy who does the ASMR content, and he has his chatbot post this content daily. Well, I can have my bot do the same thing, but for the character, and he's just constantly creating content around educating people on how to use AI.
That's pretty cool. And I think we should totally dive into that. And that could be a whole nother session too. And I think a lot of the audience would really appreciate diving into that more. I'd love to hear, we're talking about all the ways that we can improve our businesses with the use of AI and optimizing that so we can optimize our time, but also our marketing strategies. What are some biggest marketing mistakes business owners have make or usually make when using AI?
Um, I want to say using too many tools.
Yeah,
And just using too many tools and then not properly prompting, because again the AI is going to like spit out what you give it. And so one thing that you said that I think really stuck out with me was like you don't want your AI to sound like salesy, and you don't want it to sound like AI. What I see people do is they copy the exact thing that ChatGPT gives them into like emails and things like that. That is the worst thing that you can do,
yeah,
because ChatGPT has these dashes that it gives, and then you can tell that it created, that's where it gets it from. So like
right.
I'm a detail oriented person. Like I'll catch those little details. And I'm like, oh man, you create this with chat. Like you didn't even try to put your own spin on it. And so I think that that's one of the bigger mistakes. And I think that one of the others would be um probably just like overall just not knowing the right tools,
Yeah.
and yeah, because when you don't know, like you just like, what do you do? Like I don't know really what to use. And so those are probably the two things that I would say stick out the most to me.
Okay. Yeah, those are good answers. Yeah, and I agree. I think that, if you're going to use AI as a tool, Some of the biggest things that are cringe moments to me is like, oh, did you really just copy and paste that? I could totally see that. It makes you look less genuine. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, no, for sure. Because you still got to realize that we as business owners got to remember that our audience, like our avatar, or which is your ideal customer, right? Your clients, they don't, they're still not super AI, depending on what your demographic is, they're still not super AI friendly.
Right.
So if they've seen that before, it's an automatic no to your product.
Right.
So I think that personalizing it and keeping it, making sure that like you're seeing all this faceless, like we were just talking about faceless content, where now you're seeing a lot of people recreating themselves with like the hey gens, right? I think that making sure that it still looks like you. And when I say it looks like you, I mean like if you were the person that like me, my content, I'm never like beyond this. Like I'm never in like a suit or a shirt and tie or anything like that because that's not who I am. I'm a laid back, chill person that likes to kind of just make my money that I make and then I just go off into the sunset.
Same.
So so like I'm a hoodies and t-shirt type of guy. So like if you're gonna create an AI avatar, don't make the mistake of thinking that it has to be overly professional because that's not gonna resonate with your brand audience. Like your audience is not gonna that's not gonna like that brand messaging is not there.
Yeah, it's not going to resonate with them. Yeah.
Keep it you know, and so that would be my advice as well. Because
That's such good advice.
I'm thinking about what I see so much of now. Like you'll see the person that they were lounging around in pajamas and now they're wearing these full suits and stuff, and it's just like, no, that's not you. That's not.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think some people would know if something was up because I'm also someone who is like very casual. And if I start wearing like dresses all the time and suits and all that, I think people would be like, "No, something's changed with Sam."
100%, 100%.
Yes, I love that. So, wrapping it up here, last question is to really hone it in for the group. If someone is starting today and they're ready to just start optimizing AI, they're like, okay, you know what, Jarrell, I love what you said, but what is the first step? And we probably mentioned this, but this is kind of like just to dive in again, what is the first step or how can they take the first step to start integrating AI into their marketing strategies and efforts for their business?
The very first thing to do and the most user-friendly AI tool to do it with would be to go to openai.com. You go to ChatGPT, you sign up for ChatGPT. Listen, starting out, you can get the free one, but this is my professional recommendation, my expert recommendation. Get the paid one. You're going to get better responses and you're not going to get throttled, meaning it won't time out or tell you you can't come back because it used to be like when I first got it that I was right at the cusp of like a breakthrough. And then it's like, oh no, you can't message us back until 2:28 a.m. It's like, bro, I'm asleep. Like, what are we doing? So you get the paid one. And then you put in there that like what Sam just said, the simple prompt of like, hey, I'm new to artificial intelligence and I'm not so good at marketing. What is the very first step? Like that is the prompt. What is the very first step for me and my business? And be as detailed as possible. And I really just want you to coach me through the process. And then one of the key ingredients to a quality prompt is telling it to take on the persona and then whatever it is, the outcome that you're looking for. So if you're looking for marketing and AI help, take on the persona of a marketing and AI expert, and then insert that prompt that I just gave you, and then it's gonna spit out like a ton of stuff for you to do, and just make sure you let it to know step by step, and just be conversational, and you'll get it.
That's good feedback. That's really good advice. Okay, so you heard it from Darrell, and he doesn't like the name expert because, the world of technology and business is constantly changing. But you've heard it from an AI professional, and he's been in this industry for a while. This has been very successful for him. And so, I think we're confident in saying that he's dropped some really awesome gems. Anybody who's not familiar with AI, or even if you are familiar with AI, I hope that you had some takeaways from this session. And if you do want to work with Jarrell, how do they contact you?
Well, so if you want to work with me, what I'm actually going to do for this video, by the time that you see this video, I want to just give you something away free. And then it's going to have all the details on it. So I'm going to give you my personalized, I was telling somebody before the call, I'm giving you my personalized AI tech stack. So it's going to have the best tools to use, prompts, everything on it, stuff that I use. And then it's also going to have my contact information. So it's going to have my Instagram, which is the Healthy CEO. It's going to have my Instagram on there, so you can feel free to DM me. And then it's also going to have, like, of course, links to book a call. So what I'll be doing is these AI automation audits. And basically what that'll do is I'll show you how you can integrate AI into your business. So I'll point out the gaps for you, because I don't think that we had covered this, but I mean, like last year, for instance, like I implemented AI into my business at the start of 2024. And I was able to generate 70,000 plus dollars from that in 2024, just from integrating it into my business. And
Wow.
so, like, if you want to do something like that, the same, like, definitely get that audit. And because it's AI is here and it's here to stay. So, like, stop the like, oh, I want to use it. We're not doing that. We're just going to use it and maximize it with our business. And this is especially good for my solopreneurs out there, because I went from a team of 8 to now a team of 2. And I did that with the power of AI.
I love it. I love it. Yes. Thank you so much for being here, Jarrell, and sharing all your knowledge and your professional experience. And thanks for everybody who joined us. And if you're going to join us in the future, the replay will be available for everybody in the free Microminutes community and also on all Jarrell's platform as well. So yeah, feel free to join us again on the next Micromoney session. Thank you so much, everybody, and have a great rest of your Saturday.
All right, peace, y'all. Thanks, Sam, for having me. Bye bye.